Hello people, and welcome back to part 24 of Palaven, our vanilla Cities Skylines build. We're having a wonderful day, and we're looking at some wonderful little additions from Sunday's live stream. Thank you for all those that stopped by. We had a really nice time. We were live for a little over 2 hours and 20 minutes, I think it was in the end. And then we tidied up this side of Dawson, and it turned out really nicely. We'll include some of this in today's cinematics as well. Yeah, I did some little like cemetery part detail in here. Got like a little back road entrance into the town too. And the cycle highway now extends through this part of town as well. Kind of down off into this direction and into the waterfront. A little bit of industrial detail in here as well. Yeah, turned out super nicely. Really appreciate you guys spending some time in the streams, of course. And yeah. We'll dive into today's episode, shall we, where we're going to be working on interchanges. Okay, so a little disclaimer here, guys. I suck at making interchanges, right? So this is going to be a very kind of cut-heavy episode. So there's 3 that we need to make today, and then 1 that we need to remake. So we're going to put something here. We're going to use Gravecinder's interchange for this. That video will be linked down in the description. So if you want to go check out the original version from Gravecinder, do go and check it out. It will be linked below. We're going to put in a really kind of big over-the-top Y interchange on this little landmass we've got going on here. And then we're going to bring the highway out this side of the mountain, create a nice little kind of detailed mountain entrance tunnel kind of thing like we've done over here. Bring it out this side and then feed it over here into just like a really basic trumpet just to hook into this highway. And then we're also going to rebuild this one into, I think it's a parcel interchange. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's probably wrong. You guys will correct me in the comments anyway. So let's dive in. This is going to be fun. I'll keep telling myself that. Okay, first of all, go ahead and grab ourselves some highway ramps, and we're going to come up to the same level as the old trusty highway here, which is an incline of 3. Blended, and then we'll come across with our straight road tool, and we'll come across like that. Kind of annoying that the lights are coming through the road there, but it's something we can deal with. And then we'll do something similar over here as well. Let's come on to this road guideline. Super. Got our first little incline going on here. Then we can come in like that. A nice little smooth ascent on this little ramp. Fairly happy with that. And then we want to create the next kind of slip road that's going to come down into the opposite direction. So we'll do that as well. Come down by 2. And then down onto the floor. And then we'll bring that one down into there. And then change these directions. Of course, we want no traffic lights here, because they're kind of not turning in against each other. They can just flow around this area. Some nice little smooth ramps going on here now. I'm fairly happy with that. Again, all credit to Gravecinder for this interchange. It has been a lifesaver. It really has. Okay, and then we'll come out again by 5. Just take off the road guideline because there's so many roads around here until we need it. And then we can hook into that one just about there. And of course, make sure our directions are all flowing in the same direction. And then we can now work with this one as well. Again, I keep them kind of fairly close to each other. And hook in like that. Super. This is really sweet now. Of course, remembering those lane mathematics. It also looks really cool as well with kind of like the rail flowing under this thing. Be nice to see some trains come through here in the cinematics, I'm sure. Okay, super. So that's hooked in. Let's take away this rail line temporarily, just while we kind of work with everyone else. Now what we're going to do with this one right here is we're actually going to break this and bring it down onto the road and then take the highway off on another slip road. So I'll kind of explain what I mean by that. let's bring ourselves our industrial road out just a touch further. And then we're going to use the 2-lane right here. And now let's take this back a little bit more. And then we'll just descend down into here. And then let's grab a little slip road again. So again, I want to make sure that we're remaining parallel with the highway. Bring it all across. And what we're going to do here is grab ourselves a little one-way. So Gravecinder's interchange differs slightly from my version here. You'll kind of see it as you watch his episode. At this road right here that he draws in, he actually draws it from this one and brings it under this road. However, due to the fact we are right on the map boundary here, it's just not possible for me. So if you are going to copy it, then you can do that. It really depends kind of where you're placing this interchange in. And then we'll actually curve that in a little bit sooner, just so the curve is just a touch smoother. And then I think what we'll do with this piece as well actually is bring it into that industrial road again. And then we can hook into here. And then change that one around. Then we can trim off this spare road and bring ourselves that train line back in as well. Not a huge fan of this turn right here. It is a little bit sharp, but it's hidden behind the highway. It's only a national line. So we're fine for that, I think. I think we're going to be fine. If you're wondering the reason why I've downgraded these into one-way industrial roads, is because sometimes with the way that I'm building this, if it remains the highway roads, the AI actually reads it as a faster pattern to go over. So if they want to carry straight on, they will sometimes come down here. And really, all we want them to do is use this one. You'll see that in practice when we kind of have some cars coming over this thing anyway. There we go. That's kind of the first interchange done. It's going to fit in really nicely with Dawson. I have really enjoyed building Dawson, by the way. It's been such a fun town to work with. It will be a shame as we move away from it now. Okay, let's kind of discuss some detailing. I think with all these empty spaces, we're just going to pack in with kind of larger, chunkier trees. Obviously, trying our best not to merge them onto the highway. We don't really want people driving through a bunch of leaves. And then when we come into the smaller sections, we're going to fill out with some Corsican pines, which has a little bit of a meme. There we go. That's not finished, by the way. We'll come back in the detail and time lapses here and tidy some things up. We can do some nice rock garden designs in here too. But with kind of these smaller spaces, we'll just place in some of the smaller ones. I wonder how the Palaven pines would look here, actually. I think they're probably going to be too big, like a little bit too over the top. Yeah, I think I prefer the smaller Corsican ones for this. It would definitely kind of stick to this end of the tree spectrum. Nothing kind of too big. And are we a little too close there? Yeah, last one's probably not okay. So yeah, we'll see this in action shortly. We need to now go and hook in that side and the opposite. And then we can come back and see this thing in action. But really super nice interchange. Again, this is Gravecinder's design. This is not mine. The link is below. I don't think he actually builds it in the episode, but you can see his version in action. So yeah, go and check him out. Links in the description. And let's go and build ourselves a tunnel exit, shall we? Okay, so let's design the exit out of the mountain, shall we? We've got some trees to trim back here. Let's take out a load of this classic overcharged egg detailing content. We want to kind of aim for about this point. So we're going to do something really similar with the highway here like we did with the rail in Dawson. You see this kind of thing here where we've got the railway slightly raised and the road network is passing under. And then down here as well. So we're going to do something similar with that, with the highway. This eventually will become, probably next episode we'll start work on this. We're going to start a new town. We've got Dawson here, it's made up of a waterfront, interchange, town centre, suburbs, zoo, etc. We'll do something similar with this corner and turn it into like an industrial suburb. So if you guys have any suggestions for industrial suburbs IRL, do get them down in the comments because I am still looking for inspiration for them. Okay, this should be a nice little spot. Let's begin to level off a little bit of a tunnel here. And we'll just kind of cut some of this away again using our level terrain tool. And then we can begin to slope down. We'll also rebuild this national park entrance as well because it's a little bit rancid at the minute. Will happen, guys, don't worry, one day. One day. Okay, grab our highway roads and we'll get a nice little 10 curve. And then we'll come out this side as well. So if we come off right here, we're going to be getting like super steep slopes, like too steep for a highway. So we'll now just start to slope out this area. And then we can just start to draw this out. I will get to a point where we do want to kind of pick an elevation to move towards the highway with. So we'll do that. Let's keep bringing it down in like increments of 10 and 20. And then we should be able to run some nice little details through here as well. Maybe we go for like a zoo fence. You can almost get an idea of what this will look like come the end. It has a nice little crash barrier to it, and we'll do something similar on the outside of the roads as well, so it's not totally, it's kind of a little bit boring. Okay, let's take a look at the terrain here now. Let's go for our terrain overlay. So it all levels out here. This is the level that the highway's at. So we can test just how tall the highway will be raised. If we right click the highway and then bring it out into this one. Let's just kind of have a look at this landscape here. So is that going to be too tall of a raised bit? Let's have a little mooch back over at the railway. How tall is this one? Yeah, so it's not far away. It's a pretty similar difference in height. So I think we'll go for that. I think that'd be nice. Okay, let's actually get to work on the interchange. So let's trim all this railway back. And obviously we'll factor that in as well. And let's get to work on a really simple, easy to build trumpet interchange. So I do have a tutorial for this on the channel. Kind of a how to build, if you like. I'll link it in the description below if you haven't seen it. I need to clean out. Oh no. I've got to clean out all these trees. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, so let's continue on with our little trumpet interchange here. We're going to drop 2 pillars in the middle, one for each road, of course. And then we'll start to bring in our little slip road here as well. It's probably easier for me to draw this in without any snapping points on. And then we'll grab our little 2-way. And bring it under. These interchanges are a lot easier to build if you're working with a straight bit of highway, but because we're on a road here, it's going to be just easier for me to draw things in without. Okay. Super. Let's come back with all our snapping and then we can level off these 2 roads right here. Bring them up to that point respectively. That'll be fine. Lots of head clearance under the bridge as well. Make sure they're not too low. And I'm going to come in my curve tool on this one. And we're going to come out by 5. And then we're going to curve by 5 and drop down an incline. And then repeat that again. And then we can come in like that. It's not perfectly symmetrical, but I'm happy enough with the bend. No, it's not too steep. Nothing too sharp in it. It will be alright. And then we want to do something similar with this one again as well. And then we can just get a nice little smooth connection there. And of course, change the direction of the flow. So people can come over this way. And then of course the lane mathematics on the main highway again as well. No, one lane is leaving. We can actually turn these into just the one ways, but I kind of like the one lane highway ramps, but I like the trumpet interchange with the 2 lanes. It's a little bit chunkier. It's quite thin if you use the highway ramps for it, but lane mathematics on the highway will be fine here. Super. And then we can do the same thing over here again. Make sure we're probably going to have to come and cut some soil out from somewhere. We're going to be running out soon. Bring this across. Have a nice little curved highway running through here too. Of course, we want to make sure we leave some room to actually kind of cut through this thing like this. And this will all look very janky at the moment, but we will tidy up, of course. And then, of course, towards this side, we want to just slope, take some of that harshness off, because we're going to have these roads come up and join it here. So we'll do that as well. Okay, and then we'll come to our freeform. And we want to kind of observe how the incline is going to be affected here. We'll come out like that. Incline's not too bad. And then we'll have it land. About there will be okay. So let's come ahead and bridge the gap in the middle. You can imagine now we're going to have our little industrial roads and other roads kind of flowing through this, passing over the highway. And we can do some little on and off ramps here as well when we come to actually build the industrial suburb, which will be nice. Let's come out here. Cross by one more. And then we can meet back up with this one. Cool. So we're now beginning to see this raised highway develop. This will be really cool once we've got some larger infrastructure around here, especially when this industry expands into this section here. But we get some unique factories in at this point too. The industrial suburb will be a rather fun episode to go for. Okay, and then let's just start leveling out some different terrains here. Get ourselves a slope tool. And then we'll just start snaking this little highway ramp up the sides here. And then we can hook him in like that. And of course, let's not forget to actually hook him into the highway. And then we'll run those lane mathematics again. Come down into a 2-lane. And we'll hook this side in now as well. Again, apologies guys if this seems a little bit of a kind of a break from my usual style. Again, I'm not good at building interchanges. I'm like the first person to admit that. But you know, practice makes perfect, right? And I really appreciate you guys always helping me out in the Discord as well. If you're not in the Discord, it is linked below. And we had some fun kind of watching me practice these different builds during the free time. You guys really kind of helped me out and gave me some suggestions as to kind of what to do and what not to do in terms of this particular build. Yeah, I super appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, let's get a little bit of a slope on here. Yeah, we should be good to come down at this point now. Just using the highway ramps. We'll actually put the road guideline on for the highway here. Just so we're kind of remaining nice and tight to it. And then we'll come in there. Take a turn at this point, and then we'll hook in. Actually, upgrade this piece. Because we've got another exit fairly close there, so we'll come in like a little bit sooner. That'll be okay. So there's kind of the completed interchange there, right? You can kind of see how people are flowing back and to across this now. These are fun to decorate as well. Got lots of little spaces for rocks and fence detailing through here. And then of course we can upgrade this one back into a 3-lane. Okay. So I kind of like this, you know, this is not my justification. This is, you know, it's not a perfectly symmetrical interchange. And honestly, if you look at Google Maps, there's very little symmetry with interchanges in the real world. Yeah, this curve is probably a little bit too gnarly, but we can always come back and change that in the detail. And of course, you know, lots of fences and repeated tree patterns around these things really help bring them to life a little bit more. And then what we can do now is with this almost like spare excess land that we've got around it, we can just trim the highway up and against it. You know, and we'll be able to do some really nice things with industrial suburb around this, get some like paths cutting through different areas. It will look really good. And then last but not least, of course, let's come back to all our snapping. And we'll start to hook our highway roads in. Come into this point, take this one back as well. And then come in from that point and change over. Super. I think we'll probably carry on the 3 lanes up until the bridge. It would make sense to carry them off from here, actually, wouldn't it? Let's not be silly about it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm fairly happy with that. This will be a really key feature of the new industrial suburb, you know? Having this massive infrastructure all around it. It'll be really cool. Also layers of height as well. Shout out to the layers of height. There we go. It's a really basic, not symmetrical trumpet interchange. And yeah, that'll serve this part of town nicely. Okay, let's go and dive into the why. Okay, so the terrain over here should allow us to do some really cool things. We're going to pick out a layer and then terraform onto it. And just kind of push this up to the highways. Obviously, no, this looks super unnatural. We will come back and tidy this up to make it more natural, I guess is the word I'm looking for there. And then we'll push some of this out. Obviously, not enough soil is the bane of my life. Okay, this gives us a little platform to do something nice with. Let's bring these 2 highways together. We've also got metro to factor into this as well, so that should be fun. What I want is slightly lower than the other. I'm guessing this is where this has happened. Again, I'm going to have to fix that height. That's really annoying. We'll be right back, boys and girls. Okay, boys and girls. So the bridges are now leveled out. And we're just going to give ourselves a little bit more room to play with up against this little bank of land here. So of course, more lane mathematics. I actually have this as the highway ramp. We'll have that one flow that direction, and then this can convert into a 2-lane. Again, we'll come back and do more smooth terraforming. Just so we have that nice descent. Just draw in the actual connection road first. And then we'll come out a tiny bit less than that. And then we'll grab. Look, it comes down like that. Special. So now we'll do something similar. Let's create a little bit of a smoother ramp for us to come up here. So we'll have this one run parallel. Let's make sure we can connect. Let's come to this one. And I bring it up in that fashion. Fairly happy with that. And then we can use our tool here to go in this direction. More lane mathematics. We can switch these down now. We've actually got a really solid landmass here. Let me know if you guys think we should build something on this. I think it would probably end up being like a unique building build. But there's like potential. Not sure, maybe. Maybe get something here. Maybe terraformed out a little bit more as well. Okay, let's get a little idea of how it begins to look now. Now I want this to be like one of Palaven's main interchanges. You know, they're kind of coming from like outside the city here, almost like outside the country. So you're arriving into this kind of really grand, impressive interchange. Lots of bridges and different kind of flows is the vibe I'm going for. Hopefully that comes across. Okay, I kind of want to hit play just so we can see these things flow, but we'll kind of wait until all the different ramps are in. So we'll now start bringing a ramp that's going to fill this space and loop back down to this side. So we'll come out from this point. And then we'll just snap to the angle so our kind of curves are as straight as possible. And then we'll come up to here. I should come up a little bit further than that. This should be okay. And then we'll cross over this point again. Just keep checking the heights, make sure we're kind of not getting too gnarly. And we'll have the ramp fairly close to the road as well. Now, as with everything else, when we're building, keep checking it from different angles, making sure we're creating that really kind of grand, impressive interchange vibe that we're going for, okay? And we can just come to our straight tool now. Should be a nice little... There's a little bit of a slope in it, but we know we do need to start descending anyway, so I'm happy with that. And then do we want to come up a step here? No, I think we will start to descend. And then we'll come back with all our snapping just so we can measure the curve. And then we'll bring this road down with some wonderful curves and hook ourselves in like that. Yeah, so this is the kind of vibe I'm after now. Lots of long, winding, curvy on and off ramps, taking people in different directions. Plenty of room for detail in here as well. Just want to keep adding a couple more rock assets in. Maybe like one of these super chunky boys on this corner and, you know, merge it with some of the assets that we don't really get to use. Or maybe a little bit too close. Some of the finer detailing is spilling onto the road. Yeah. A very Palaven style interchange, I think. Interesting to see how this little node here performs. Because it is a little bit close, but I guess we'll see. See how that turns out. Okay, so I think we'll upgrade this little section here into a 3-lane. And then we'll now bring off a smaller little kind of slip road access ramp here. Before we do, I want to do some tiny more terraforming. Just so we've got kind of a firmer bank against this road right here. And then we can start to bring this one across it and under it. There's a little bit of a sweet spot there. There we go. And then we can start to curve this one up and over now. Yeah, so this angle starts up really good now. No, lots of different layers of height with all the roads, one coming over, one coming under, one slightly raised up, curving up, and then obviously the base kind of highways here too. I'm really happy with that. Really happy with it. There we go. And then we can hook into this point and make sure all our directions are safe. Super. So these are kind of the 3 key highway connections now. Do a quick check. We haven't connected them underneath though, have we? That's what we need to do. Okay guys, so everything is hooked up. I'll turn the game on 3 speed and watch some people merge through the new kind of spaghetti interchange we've got going on. Of course we actually need to come through here with lane mathematics as well. Go ahead and give this a little 2-way run. There we go. All the way up to where it merges, which is here. And then from this point as well. Yeah, that one's been done. Okay. Here we go. Get some people coming on now. These are going to be so much fun to decorate. Okay, here we go. People arriving via here. It's getting some spicy use now as well. Oh yeah. It works, surprisingly. Yeah, okay. It's going to be nice to see this end of Palaven getting some use because it's been empty for a long time. You can see how people are kind of carrying on here. This is what I was talking about. Yeah, go check out the trumpet, see how that's performing. Just kind of see how people are coming out of here as well. This is a busy one. This is a busy highway. You know, you can see the flow here. It's probably not my prettiest work, but it works. And in terms of me and interchanges, that's good enough for me. I just don't do them. I can play pretty much every other aspect of the game pretty well, but when it comes to interchanges, I'm just, yeah, it's just a total mind fart. I'm just not good with them. Like Google Maps is very much needed. Okay. Very nice. Oh, I can just kind of... Should we just sit here for the rest of the episode and watch them? However long this episode ends up being, you know this is what we're doing for the rest of it. Satisfying to watch. They look a lot nicer in the detail, of course, as well. Yeah, really good flow on that one. Of course, we can see Dawson coming through now as well. Actually see some cars travelling past the waterfront, which is cool. Yeah, so this one here is getting no use, which is fine. I guess it would make sense, wouldn't it? See, this is why I suck with them. There's no need for this one here, is there? Wonder how many people were screaming at the screens watching that. Yeah, get a little shot here. A highway shot. All different layers kind of looping and moving around one another. Okay. I'm really happy that's working. Really happy that that's working. Okay, so now we need to go and rebuild the old interchange over by the Metro Farmland. This one right here. Just to make it a little more impressive and also tidy up some of these wind farms as well. So I'll go ahead and clear this out and then we'll see what we can do with this. Okay, so I think we're also going to clear out all this commercial here as well and turn this whole kind of main road into, you know, a little interchange in itself. We'll take away all these trees as well. And we've got a lot more space to work with here. I think for these, we'll give ourselves a pillar in the middle of the highway. Of course, we want to plan on our little slip roads as well. Out from that point, and then you can draw this in. So we've got that one in as well. We can do this side too. Take that away. And then we do want a little off-road that's going to come through this space as well. And we'll hook that in at some point too. Let's trim this one back just a touch. And then we can bring it across and then down. Just double check the measurement there. We're at 210. 210. Super. And let's just draw these up a little bit more. Super. Now we'll grab the main roads that are going to flow over the top. Put that across. And then across to the other side. Again, we'll do something similar with this one too. So I think it's already looking a lot more grander, isn't it? Especially when you've got these little kind of slip roads that run parallel to the actual main highway itself. It does give it a little bit more importance. I think I am a fan. And then we'll climb back down to Earth over a distance of 1070. This should be fine. Then rather than having it connected at the same points, I'm going to split the traffic flow here. So for this one, we're going to bring a little bit of freeform, come down this side. And then we're going to hook into this one here. Get this one going. And then we'll grab ourselves a little off ramp. That's going to scoop around. And then hook in. And then we can turn this one into a 2-lane. And then it's probably a good idea at this point to upgrade this into a 3-lane. Because this is going to be going into the downtown. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on traffic flow. And that will do this side as well. So we'll split the flow at this point. And then curve in to here. Now, if we bottleneck all the farm traffic through this junction, it will clog. However, we can add in a little supplementary support system that's going to come from this side. So we can take this one back now. And we need to add in a little off-ramp to curve around and fit this one in. Let's go ahead and work on that now. And then we can bring in an exit road for this point. Keep it quite tight into this ramp just for the nice look it provides. Then we'll hook into that point. That's a little bit off. Hook in there. Then what we'll do is we'll take away all this detail in here. Got a bunch of rocks we need to delete. I was never really happy with this little wind farm here anyway. So what this will allow us to do is just have a little more kind of focus around those wind farms. Okay, now bring a little road through here. And then we can hook into that one. So with that little supplementary support road will help distribute the farm traffic into different areas. And then something similar over here as well, you know. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves a little medium with grass. We'll have all our snapping off. With the freeform tool though. And then we'll just create like a little riverside road that's gonna have no zoning on it. It's here just to help distribute into the fishing marina and down into Palaven. Now there's a number of different options available to the traveller here. Then we can bring this one down here too. Fantastic. Let's factor him in. Let's actually also bring in that secondary ramp. So from the base of the bridge here we're at 120. And then rotate our road directions back down. Fantastic. And then with these, we'll do something similar that we did over on the other side. Just split the connection points. And over here. And then we can have them flow in that direction as well. And again, we'll grab ourselves a little highway ramp. Just so we can come out here. You know, the same thing we did on this side. We'll come out and hook in, and then upgrade into a 2-lane at that point. And then we want to have this one come in as well. And have it hook into this point. Super. I think everyone's hooked up. Should now be able to see some flow. We do want to go through and turn traffic lights off actually. We don't want traffic lights here. Let's turn these ones off. Just allow everyone to come through. And we can now do something a little more special with the wind farms perhaps. Let's have like one in the field here. One this side. And then one more here as well. You can see now how this little secondary support road just allows some cars to bleed off, not getting totally rammed. But we do want to hook into the Fisher Marina though, of course. It's probably a good point actually to make this a 2-lane highway from this point, because there's no zone in here. They can just go as fast as they want straight down into the marina. The AI will read it as a faster route as well, which is always nice. And of course, no traffic lights on these. Just give way, flow through. Super. Let's go have a look at the other interchanges again. Oh yeah, it's working. Thank God. Like I said, guys, you know, I'm really bad with interchanges. They're just not my bag. I'm not good at building them. But we finally got the interchanges episode out of the way with, and I'm sure they look really cool at night time as well. Let's have a little look-see here, shall we? I'm gonna have a look at the Dawson one. Yeah. I like it. I like it. And over here as well, Trumpet's getting lots of activity. Yeah, so serious highway expansion for Palaven today. Got 2 new interchanges and 1 on and off system. Yeah. I like them. But now, of course, it is time to go ahead and detail them up, because at the minute they're very bland, very kind of open green space between them. Now we need to tidy up some of these little lanes here as well that aren't getting any use. And don't forget to let me know, guys. Should we build something on this landmass here? We've got a lot of space between the highway. Let me know if you think a nice build would fit in, kind of surrounded by highway. Maybe like a prison or something, like a prison build. I guess we could do something with that. We want to bring this metro line over as well, don't we? Yeah, okay. So that feels, guys, like a good place to jump into a detail and time lapse. Let's go ahead and make these things look a little bit prettier. Alright guys, that is going to do it for today. If you've enjoyed the episode, a like below is very much appreciated. If you haven't enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. Super tricky episode for me. I've said a million times, I suck balls at interchanges. I am not good at them. You guys will probably be able to tear these apart and give me a more efficient way of doing it, and by all means, please do. Get in the Discord, show me how you can improve this, because I would love to know. But yeah, the 4 of them have turned out really nicely. Hang around for the rest of the outro tag and check out some of the detailing. You guys wouldn't have seen it all because there was just so much of it, and these things should look pretty sweet at night time as well. We'll definitely come back in a stream and continue to tweak them based on the feedback between now and the next stream, of course. Just help kind of make them a little spicier, a little more efficient possibly as well. Otherwise, I'm going to shut up and I'll leave it there. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.